welcome back. This is Samantha welcoming you to my lounge. I hope you've had a really good week. Our week has been a little up and down maybe. The weather's been beautiful and then it's been pretty hideous. So we've had lots going on in the house. The kids are back at school and college, obviously. And so I've had a little bit of time to myself to be doing a few bits and pieces. My mum asked me to make her, my mum's in her 70s, I don't suppose she'll mind me telling you that. So she remembers the 1960s, and she was quite a trendy girl in the 60s. So she asked me if I would mind making her a crochet, not cardigan, what do they call them? Sleeveless cardigan, waistcoat, that's the word, honestly. Menopause moment. So I said, yeah, okay, I'll give it a go. So I searched around looking for so many patterns, couldn't find one that I liked. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to wing this and try and make one myself. So this is what we came up with. This is the first panel. Now, just to let you know that this is not my design. This is the Harmony blanket square from a beautiful and very talented designer maker called Lucy from Attic 24. Now, I encourage you guys to go and have a look at her blog, Attic 24. She's been at it for a very long time. She's extremely inspirational for novices like myself because her colour design is beautiful. So credit where it's due. This is Lucy from Attic 24's design, not mine. My colours, her design. Okay, so let's make sure we give credit where it's due. So I thought I would just wing it myself, have a go at making the squares. So I'm just going to do like two rectangular panels for the front and then a rectangular double panel for the back and then maybe an I-cord. So look at that, isn't it beautiful? Okay, so that's been my new project for this week. Hopefully it'll be done by spring, which is when my mum would like it for. So I don't like leaving things till the last minute. So I've also been working on this beast. Oh, look at this. Oh, who doesn't love a granny square? I mean, granny squares are super easy, aren't they? So this guy is probably going to go on my bed. And it's beautiful to make in the evenings, because you can just literally wear it whilst you're making it, can't you? So I like that about granny square blankets. So I've been doing that. Also, I've been making some jewellery. I've made an absolutely beautiful, simple necklace, which I think if I can find it, yes I can, hold on. Here we go. This one here. So, okay, so this one here is just very simply made with 2mm wire and a figure of 8 link chain, and you can pick these large copper washers up from your local hardware store, that kind of thing. So I think I'll do a tutorial on this, maybe the next one or the one after, if you fancy having a make of that. You can actually attach beads around the circle, which I've done on a couple of mine. So what do you think? Let's do that. Okay, so we've also got a little bit of a video here coming up for you after this, where I take you around a beautiful little place called Arnside, which borders Lancashire and Cumbria. I live in Lancashire, so for us it's about, I don't know, 40-50 minutes journey. A beautiful day, lots of seagulls. Gorgeous estuary actually, and it's been pretty much untouched by tourism, if you will. The locals guard it viciously because it's such a beautiful spot. It's not taken over by hordes and hordes of visitors, which is a really nice thing these days, I think. So we went there with my mum and my stepdad, their little dog, our dog, the kids. So we all piled in the car and went, walked along the estuary bank. We bimbled into a little shop. We had a few really pretty things. I mean, we didn't buy anything because obviously we're all watching our pennies, aren't we, these days? But there was a little pair of red glass, fused glass earrings that I really liked. So maybe if they're there next time I go, I might just treat myself. So I'll pop a little video on you know, and show you a couple of bits and pieces. This week's been really weird with the weather. We've had beautiful, beautiful sunny days, and then we've had torrential rainfall and winds, and I think it was Storm Debbie, not like this week, the week before. I think it was, strangely we name our storms, don't we? So Storm Debbie, I think, which meant that our little trip to a little place called Garstang, I say little quite a lot, don't I? Yes, I do. Never mind, ignore me. Garstang, which is in West Lancashire, we went there and had a walk across the riverbank, which was lovely. But just towards the end of that trip, you could feel the skies starting to get really churning and grey, and you could see things starting to happen up in the sky, so we all sort of ran back to the car and came home. So I'll show you a little bit of that as well. Beautiful little river, ducks, trees, all those lovely things that bring calmness to the mind, and I'm all about that right now. After a few years of pretty serious mental health issues, I took up crafting, took up going for walks, that kind of thing, just to settle the mind, and it does work in the most part. I don't know if you guys, you know, feel the same way, but I think mental health is very often overlooked, and it's also something that can be really, really helped with crafting and creativity and making things with your hands, thinking about designs, that kind of thing. So for me, I'm no professional, I'm not an expert in anything, but I thought it might be nice just to sort of share what I learn, what I've learned, and what I can learn in the future, and we can learn together, can't we? So after this little rambling, you're probably sick of hearing me now, I'm going to show you how to make a little pair of, can you focus on that camera? No, you can't. Oh, silly camera. I'll pop a little picture in of what we're going to be making. Cute pair of little horseshoe earrings, take literally minutes to make, and you can make them with all sorts of different beads. So we'll go through that in a second. So that's enough of me rambling now. I'll see you probably, hopefully next week, and I hope you have wonderful weeks, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching today. Bye. Hello there, lovelies. Okay, so as promised, I thought I'd show you how to make these really, really simple little earrings, and they're really, really cute. Super easy to make with just a few materials. Just trying to see if I can get you to see that lovely bead. These are gorgeous, aren't they? This design I think works really well with rondelle beads. So see what you've got in your stash. I think these are, not sure, probably just some form of agate, probably. Very, very inexpensive. Okay, so we'll go through a materials list and I'll let you know what you need to make these little cuties. So I'll just pop those there for now. Okay, so to start with, you're going to need some 2mm wire. Okay, so a bit thicker than we're used to, I know, but I think it gives the earrings a really nice chunky look and makes them quite, makes them quite stable. Okay, so 2mm wire. You're also going to need some 0.5mm wire, and that's for the wrapping. I don't use 0.4 on these actually because obviously the 0.5 is a little thicker, and I just think it looks a little more substantial on the thicker 2mm wire. Okay, so you're going to need some 0.5. As usual, the usual suspects, as I like to say. Wire cutters. I wouldn't suggest you use your regular flush cutters for the 2mm wire, mainly because you're going to wreck your flush cutters. And I don't know if you can see, these ones are pretty old and they've had a little bit of use there, a little bit of abuse and damage, but they're fine for what we need. So some more heavy duty flush cutters is a good place to start for your 2mm wire. You're going to need some regular less substantial, your usual flush cutters for the thinner wire. You're also going to need either my usual six-step plier or a round nose plier, depending upon how what you like to use. And you're going to need 2 sets of chain nose pliers for the winding and all that kind of thing, and just actually you might get away with 1, but always have 2 to hand anyway. Okay, you will need a little bench block because we're going to be doing a little bit of hammering, so a bench block and a decently weighted hammer, chasing hammer, would do you fine, no doubt. Okay, so we're going to be hammering the ends of the 2mm wire. You're going to need a regular ruler just to measure your lengths, and an Emery or a file to make these edges nice and smooth so they're not catching on the skin. Okay, so I use Emery boards or little metal files. And then obviously you're going to need some beads. Yeah, so these are 10x6 mixed agate beads. Ooh, now then, I think we'll use the blue today. What do you think? Should we use the blues? The blues are pretty. Do those match? Yeah, I think they probably do. Let's use the blues today. Let's have a look. They're gorgeous, aren't they? Yeah, we'll use the blues today. So you're going to need some rondelle beads. Like I say, I think the rondelle beads just suits this design a little bit better than rounds, but you could use rounds if you wanted. Actually, you know what? The world's your oyster. Use what you like. I always say, go for it. But today I'm going to be using these. Okay, so I think that's all we need. So we'll clear the table away and I'll show you how to make these really simple little earrings. Okay, see you in a few. Right, so hopefully you've got all your materials ready. Shall we go for it? Yeah, let's. I think so. Okay, so like, yeah, 2mm wire. So, give it a little bit of a manipulation with your fingers, straighten it out a little. It doesn't have to be hugely straight. And what we want is two 2-inch pieces. Okay, so get our industrial snippers and just snip off the edge. Mind your eyes, okay, so make sure you protect your eyes at all costs. You only get one pair. Okay, and with the flat edge of the cutters, you want two 2-inch pieces. Okay, so that's one, and then just snip off a flush edge. Watch those bits flying. And again, another 2-inch piece. Okay, so that's your 2-inch pieces. All done and dusted. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Okay, so we are going to be doing a bit of hammering here actually. So what I'll do is I'll show you what to do, and then I'll pop a little bit of funky music in between, so you're not listening to me hammering like mad on these thicker pieces of wire. Okay, so what we want to do is make a paddle shape on each end of the wire. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can. The camera's working a little better than it did last time. I had a little bit of trouble with focus from my last tutorial, so I do apologise for that. Okay, so let's bring in our bench block. Okay, so holding the wire around here, you want to make a paddle shape at the end, okay? Turn it around. Don't worry about this edge because this is what the emery board is for. That may, we'll use that to round off. Making sure that that paddle is facing upwards so that we get a paddle shape linearly on either side. So this is what we're going for. Can you see that? Now when you're hammering, obviously you're using a metal upon metal. You may find that your wire bends ever so slightly. Really honestly, don't worry about that. We are going to be bending it into this kind of shape. So if it bends slightly like that has, really no big deal. Okay, so once you're happy with the sizes of your paddles on either side, which I am, then we bring in the emery board, okay? Or your file, whichever. And we start just to round these edges off. What we want to find is that they're not sharp for the wearer, obviously. Don't want any accidents. So just file them into round edges on either side, like so. Okay, so as you can see, they're nicely rounding out. There we go, that's one side. And the other side. I think these are really sweet, these earrings actually. You can use all sorts of different beads in them. And again, round beads work just as well. You just won't find that your horseshoe will come in quite as to a taper. It can be a little wider with the round beads, but that's absolutely fine. The world's your oyster. I like that saying at the moment because it's true. Okay, so this is what we have. Now, once you're satisfied that all of these edges are nice and smooth and not sharp against the skin, then we'll go on to the next stage. Okay, your next stage is to bend this into this hoop shape, horseshoe shape should I say. Okay, so this actually is where the thicker bail making pliers come in handy, because you do have this, I think this is a 10mm step here. You can get, I think, I can't remember the brand of them, but you can get one with 6mm on one side and 10 on another, that kind of thing. So you want, I think, a 10mm. So we're going to be bending this guy that way. Okay, so the best thing to do is to try and find the center as best as you can, give or take. You see that? And make sure that these paddles are facing this way, not flat like this, but upwards like this, okay? Because we're going to be bending it that way. Which, oops. Try again, Sam. There we go. That's it. Okay, so let's bend. So very purposefully, but gently, remove both of these sides, so we're left with that. So you need to do that with both of your lengths of wire, and then we'll meet back when you've got both of them done. Okay guys, so hopefully you've got now 2 of these little horseshoe shapes, and we're ready to go with the wrapping. I mean, these are so simple. I hope that you make lots and lots of these with loads of different beads, different materials. In actual fact, I mean, if you can afford it, not all of us can, but if you can afford it, these would be beautiful in silver, or you can indeed use silver plated copper wire with silver findings, beautiful with sparkly crystal rondelles perhaps, perfect for the season, if you will. I'm not going to say the C word yet because it's still November, but yeah, absolutely perfect for those parties coming up. And so let's get going. I'm going to need some 0.5mm wire. I suggest you use enough that you can, you know, manipulate it, get a handle on it. I don't like using tiny pieces of wire myself because I just don't think you can get the same purchase, you know, the same control. So I would probably suggest you go for, I don't know, you would probably get away with 4 inches, but I'm going to go with 5. I don't mind a bit of waste actually, guys, but I know some people do. If you're much better at this than I am, then you can go with the smallest piece of wire that you like. Let's go with 5 inches. Okay, so I'll cut 1 5 and another 5 length, and then we've got both going. Okay, there we are. Okay, so let's remove all of this and we can see what we're doing. Right, so as you can see, that little beauty nestles quite pretty in there. They're going to look really nice, aren't they, in blue? So take your piece of wire and bring it underneath and through, okay, like so. What you need to do to start with is just wrap a little bit round, just so you've got an anchor, okay, and then wind it round. I think 6 times is a nice number. Okay, so how many do we have there? 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's fine. You're going to be cutting this little piece off and burnishing it to the back. We're going to have a back side and a front side actually, but I'll show you how to do that in a second. Okay, so this is what we have. Pop your bead on, and you want it to sit just in the middle, like so. Okay, now I like these guys to be not handed. A lot of people would probably wrap the front and then in, but I like to go underneath. Okay, I do it this way because I think that the bead sits a little bit more evenly if you do one over the top and one underneath. Okay, so you'll see what I mean in a second. So instead of wrapping this around the top, take it underneath and then through. Okay, and give it a good tug. Now at this point I would bring in my pliers and very gently give it a tug. Okay, back under and tug. If you want, you can squeeze these a little bit so that all tugs into place. And if these are getting a little separated, just smush them together with your pliers. Back under, and then a tug and a squish, and we want 3 more of these. This is why I tend to use a little bit longer wire, because it just gives you a little bit more control. So how many have we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Twice more. That's the 1. Tug. Smush. And 1 more. Through. You can see underneath and through. And tug. And give it a squeeze just to bring it all together. Okay. So this is the point now where you can manipulate your bead slightly, push your little arms together and make sure that those guys are all squished up together. Okay, so that's what we have. Okay, so bring in your smaller flush cutters and just give them a little snip and a little snip. Okay, and what you want to do now is to make sure that these edges aren't sharp. So squeeze those together. Hope you can see this because I'm doing it through the camera. Try these ones. Grasp that little bit of wire and burnish the wire, so that sort of almost squeezes it as you're turning. Just means that it squeezes the wire slightly flatter to the 2mm wire. So as you can see, I'm grasping it and twisting it, which is called burnishing. Okay, and then just squeeze, squeeze slightly, squeeze, squeeze, just ever so slightly. You don't want to flatten them too much. Okay, and this is what we have. Okay, how does that look? And if it just sits slightly odd, which this one doesn't really, but just give it a little bit of a manipulation. Okay, so can you see? How cute is that? Okay, so all you need to do now is just basically bob it onto a nice little ear wire. Again, if you're allergic to copper, you know, in the ears, use silver. And pop that onto your ear wire. And there you have it. Again, beautiful. I really like these. I think they are super versatile. Lots of different colours. Gosh, yeah, I mean, I think that would look lovely in all sorts of different coloured crystals, actually, crystal rondelles that you can get really, really inaffordably, sorry, not inaffordably, very cheaply, inexpensive, I mean, off, you know, large websites, auction sites, or, you know, the large, you know, the one I mean, or your local bead store, etc., etc. Okay, so go ahead and make loads of these. I'd love to know how you get on. So let me know in the comments how you get on and what colours you've made, etc. And have fun. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and hopefully I'll see you in a week or so. Thank you. Bye.